Hey everybody, it's Nikki and my little girl is now 19 days old. I can't believe she's already nearly 3 weeks and this is the first update that I've been able to do. She certainly takes up a lot of time and this is like the one nap she takes during the day, so I'm finally doing my update. So let me first tell you about my labour and delivery and then I will take you over to meet her. So in my last video it was 39 weeks and 2 days pregnant and I was in labour. So I was at home for about 5 hours before the contractions went from irregular and about 10-15 minutes, that sort of timing, down to pretty regular and about 4.5 minutes. And so I thought, probably should go to the hospital if they're going to get any closer. So I called my husband and he came home from work and we went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, of course the contractions slowed down and got irregular again, so they checked me anyway. And I was not any further progressed than I had been at my doctor's appointment earlier that day. So they called the doctor and she said, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is it, she can stay if she wants. So they gave me the choice. I could either go home and labour or I could stay in the hospital. I thought, well, I'm already here, I've got all my stuff, and if in any case I'm not going to sleep and I'm just going to labour, then I'll just stay. So I stayed at the hospital. They sent me upstairs to like the maternity ward where all the born babies were, to wait it out until the contractions were getting closer together again. And I was up there all night. I got to the hospital, it was probably about 7 p.m. so I was up there all night, and the contractions, they still kept coming, but never kind of regularly, always the same time apart. So they would get as far as 8 minutes apart and then get down to 2 or 3 minutes apart and stay that for a while, and then they'd get longer again. So this was going on all night. My husband was there with me and we didn't get very much sleep. And then at about 7 o'clock the next morning, the labour and delivery room sent a message up saying, oh, okay, do you want to come back down and we'll check you again? So by that stage I'd been in labour for about 17 hours or something, and so I went downstairs and they checked me and I was only 1 centimetre further dilated, so 4 centimetres by this stage, and I was just like and so what they decided to do was to hook me up to a what is it called, Syntocin, like the fake oxytocin drip. And so by the time they hooked me up to that, I'd been in labour for about 18 hours and the contractions started getting more regular and more stronger with the drip. And it worked really, really quickly, because 2 hours later she was there, she'd arrived. So the doctor came in. It wasn't my doctor because it was a public holiday, so I just had whoever was on that day. And he checked me and he said that after 2 hours on the drip, he said, yep, like, you're at 10 centimetres, you're good to go. My water still hadn't broken, so he broke it for me. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did end up getting the epidural, because with the Syntocin, that makes your contractions like really, really intense. So they also had to call in the anaesthetist from home because it was public holiday, so they didn't have one on standby. And the epidural went in about 9 a.m. and I was pushing by 9:45 and I had her at 10:04. So it was really at the very end, and actually I quite liked the way it went. Just in terms of getting the epidural, like I wanted to try and not get it, so I went all night without, and so I liked having it at the very end, you know, not kind of too early or anything. And yeah, that worked out well, and so she arrived and we ended up staying in the hospital for 6 days after that because she would not latch on properly and she was pretty sluggish and tired. So she wasn't feeding well and she lost about 14% of her birth weight. So we had to wait until that started heading back in the right direction and we got breastfeeding established. So I was really lucky to be at a hospital where they weren't kind of like pushing to kick me out as soon as possible. They were actually, you know, I wanted to go home the day before and they're like, we think you should stay, sort of thing. So they were encouraging me to stay just for the sake of establishing breastfeeding. So yep, that's pretty much it. So let me take you over to meet my little girl and I'll tell you her name. So this is her. Sorry about the lighting, it's kind of stormy. But this is Elara. She's so beautiful and so peaceful when she sleeps. And as I said, she only sleeps during the day, like she gets one nap in. But I'm really lucky in that she sleeps at night and she only wakes up for feeds at night. But yeah, during the day I can't get anything done because she's always awake and I can't lay her in her bed awake or she'll cry. So yeah, it's tough, but I love being a mum. So yeah, so I'll see you next time. I can't promise regular updates, but I'll do them when I can. So bye.